people of Rumble, people of the Tube, welcome to Eagle Leather Trading Co. I am Michael Eagle, and this is
the Leather Revolution.
Today I want to introduce you to a brand new Manbag 2022 I just completed. It has the little sneaky knife in the back. I designed it to handle 6 to 8 9mm 13 round magazines right here on the front pocket. It's also big enough, tall enough to handle a 33 round magazine from a different angle. It's a little bigger than my last one, which was beautiful mahogany. Opted out on all of the buckles and hardware and clasp and swivels, and just wanted to go with something a little easier, a little more economical, but sturdier. Big 2-inch shoulder strap.
Remember, if you like it, you should share it. If you make it, you can wear it.
Alright guys, let's kick this off with 2 pieces of leather. We have one 10 by 20 and one 10 by 10, and then you have to have a gusset that goes in between for this man bag. And I'm going with a 3-inch gusset, which will wrap around in between here and then fold over to close it, and then this folds over to actually close the bag. Alright, there's 3 pieces, and of course you have to have a strap, right? It goes from each side. So wow, we could do this with 4 pieces of leather. Cool. Point is, you don't have to have a template. You don't have to buy someone's plans. You can. Not saying there's anything wrong with that, but I mean, we're all trying to save money or make some money with this leather, and leather's expensive in the first place, kinda. But you do run in, eventually you're going to run into people that want something made out of leather. Alright, so for the hardware, the reason I'm making this second man bag is because my original has been awesome and I love it. But in order to, and it will accommodate my 9mm magazines, but I want it to be able to accommodate the 33 round magazine, and you can see it's a little bit tall, so this has to go in here at an angle. So this bag is 9 by 9 and 2 inches deep, and this one is 10 by 10 and 3 inches deep. So this bag, this will be able to stand up in here. So we can put 2, 3, 4, 5, almost 6, and then double stack them. 12 33 rounds, I'll do the math, right? You always have to have hardware. And on this one, I went with buckles, which are really cool. I went with all brass, and I love it. I just love it. But this gets to be a little tedious, buckling and unbuckling these all the time. And then I went with hardware on the sides with the D-rings and the clasp buckle, and then another buckle so you can adjust it right, and then a handle on top, and then the hidden blade in the back. So this time I want to do something that's going to be a little easier. Instead of doing all those buckles, I want to, this came off of an old briefcase or a small little tactical bag. The strap that was on it, I took it off of there, and I'm going to put these on the end of the strap. It's going to close it. Okay, yeah, so a little more strappage, right? And then I'm going to put, I didn't mount these 2 little pieces of leather down here, so I can just easily attach this from the strap to close it. The gusset is 3 inches because I want it a little deeper, so it will also accommodate your 9mm piece, whatever. And then I want, the strap is 2 inches. The shoulder strap is going to be 2 inches, so it's a little sturdier because we're going to be carrying more weight, right? What I really want to point out is get your measurements on whatever you want to carry. You don't need anyone stencils. We can round these corners with a Tupperware bowl, which is what I did with the last one, okay? So, and instead of like, there's a couple of guys out there that do like the little single hole punch, bang, 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 right? Which can take all day. But in this case, we're going to saddle stitch, and I'm going with the regular 3mm, 6 holes at a time. So what that means is we have to get our stitch groover, and that's basically so we can keep a straight line with our stitch. I always go all the way around every piece, so even if you don't stitch it, it will still have the appearance of a stitch. So we'll do all this, and then we'll do all the straps. We'll stitch groove them, and then we will stitch punch. The stitch groove is kind of difficult for me. It always has been, but it really, I guess I need a better tool. But it's a necessary evil. You don't have to go really deep. In fact, you don't want to go too deep. Don't want to weaken your structure, right? Structural integrity. But now we have a line to follow, of course, for you beginners. But yeah, you don't have to buy anyone's plans. It just depends on what you want to carry. And a lot of those plans, it looks like once they're done, it's like, oh my God, that's a small bag. And again, it's just a line to follow. And we're an 1/8 inch in. We're a good 1/8. We're almost a little deep. You get too far in, then your edges don't meet with your stitching and they can open up, right? All right, there it is. That's how you do every piece like that. And then we will start punching, okay? I'm going to just stitch down the sides, and then one buckle for the shoulder strap, the 2 inch right there. And then will you do the other end? You always have to cut your belt anyway, so I'm going to use 2 pieces. And then the other end, this gets folded. Actually the bottom piece, right? That goes in there, then you just tuck it through like a belt. Cool? So we're going to do this with 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 pieces of leather and 3 pieces of hardware. Cool? Alright, there's everything stitch grooved. Gusset, the closure straps, shoulder strap, that's the inside pocket, outside pocket. Now we need to go ahead and just, now we get the stitch hunch, all of this. Cool? Alright, before I go any further, I am going to go ahead and wet mold. I have a piece of saddle skirt that's really thick. It's a good, wow, it's almost a 1/4 inch thick. So I'm going to dip this whole piece so it's all the same color, even though this is going to be dyed black. And this is what I've chosen for the front. It has my straightest stitch grooves. So I'm going to dunk this whole thing and then set that under it, and we'll wet mold it. Alright, I've filled up the sink about halfway. Let's check our Alright, let's go ahead and get started with this stitch punch. I typically, as a rule, keep the craft tool logo facing outside of the project, and that way the diamond tips are always going the same direction. So when you start stitching it, and I'm going to start at the line, the top line, and then start bringing it down this stitch groove. Remember I mentioned we were going just past that lip with this little cutout right here, which may actually serve as plenty of retention. Let's go ahead and wet mold it a little more. Alright, center this magazine pocket. 10 inches, we'll just take an inch on each side. They're both exactly an inch in. And then just whatever looked good on the top for the lid. So I just scribed that line, scribed around here, and then I marked the stitch groove holes to give me a guide to do my stitch groover, stitch punch. Alright, let's start out with the main panel that has the lid on it. USMC black? What? United States Marine Corps black? Yay. Phoebing's leather dye. Wow, I thought it was just black. It's USMC. No way. Come on. Alright, let's pour a little bit in here. And I have a piece of cloth in there. And a dauber. Let's start with the cloth. Let's try not to splash this anywhere. Pour a little bit in here. No, it's going to take a bit. Alright, let's see how much is on here. We're going to try to get some of this dye off of here, or see how much is on here. Oh look, see, you can see the stitch punch lines. I was thinking about keeping that. Now, the reason I'm using this cloth and trying to get some off is so that we can try this eagle and get those lines to stay. This is the scary part. Yay. It's kind of a block method, but just with a piece of cloth. Now we're going to have to get a little darker around it without just entirely covering. Alright, there's the kind of a block technique die. Now we'll just be real careful. I may even get a paintbrush. And the circle around it, I just did a lid off of something and made a little circle, so that'll stay. I don't want too much dye on this piece of t-shirt whenever I do that piece. Oh look, it's looking kind of denim with the creases in the leather. So we'll just kind of have to try to know when to stop. I like that. Alright, let's put a little eagle head about every 3 inches on this closure strap. Alright, the last piece to die. Okay, let's try to go light. Check this out. Alright, so on this one, not even going to worry about folding and finding the center. Just like pull it out, get you a rough estimate, guesstimate of where it goes, and then just pick a hole in somewhere around the middle because you'll be going both ways. We're just trying to shorten the thread that we're working with. Alright, time to thread a needle. Uh-oh, shooting suspect. Alright, we're at the corner. I'm going to wallow that hole. Alright, on this final stitch, we're going to pretend like we're going back through and go halfway and come up through the middle. Back stitch, do the same thing, going back 1 stitch. Go back through there, come up through the middle.
Alpha 46, go in. Check on your 6X on how I am. We're going to come in from Bravo 46 on this servant, so to advise on cover.
Advise on cover. Cover me. Shooter's still out here. Guy got shot in the head Sunday morning, downtown Dallas. Welcome to 2020 Cluster 2. So, since we came up through the middle, tie that little knot.
Bravo 46, you're looking at a domestic. Occurred this morning about 9:34. Yeah, outside waiting.
Cut that off flush. Freedom lighter. Tug it down in there. Gone forever. Yay, one side. Alright, let's do the next one.
Forward rock set customers. Very last day of walking towards 7-Eleven.
Black male, blue sweatpants throwing rocks at customers. Alright, just fold that in a little bit. Bam. Done. Alright, I'm going to go ahead
31, I can take your 6X on retail and advise on cover.
and stitch this with the existing line that was on the top. Just line it up right there. Slide it up. Still lined up. Let's get our first stitch.
Lima 226, you're after 50. Temple. GP mark number. Temple.
Send it through to that first stitch right there. Alright, we have our center stitch. Which way do we want to go? I choked up on it quite a bit because it's a long run. There's the center. Alright, completed the front panel. The gusset. So before we put on the back panel, oh, it's gonna be so cool and just the right size. Before we put this on, we need to do the straps on here, and I'm going to stitch probably a good 6 to 8 inches, and without hardware. Just stitching it on, it will be there forever. And then we'll put the knife sheath on the back mate. Alright, I think I'm going to glue this down since this is already punched, and then that way we can match up the holes a little better. So we'll just like give it a little scratch. Right here is the top of the bag. Go ahead and punch it, little scratch. Little punch, little scratch. Same down here. And then we'll sand this underneath a little bit so that it adheres a little better while we stitch it. Cool. Alright, let's just grab a little piece of sandpaper. Just rough it up a little bit inside those lines. I don't think we have to have the glue actually in the stitches. This is just to hold it in place so we can match our holes up. Might be a little easier to stitch like that. Let's go about up to here. Contact cement on both sides. Go to the bottom on that one and hold that tongue down. Cool. Alright, let's see if we can't get this in a good spot. We have our lines, we have our glue. Looks good, mate. Now what do? Tamp it together. That should hold it in place whilst we punch these holes. We'll let that set for a few minutes. Alright, we're just copying the holes. You don't have to go first prong, last hole because these are already punched. All right, let's just do a little outline of this so we'll know where to scratch it. Glue it down since we're going to try to match the holes. And we're only going to do like a little 1/2 inch swath. Glue each way. Sand that down just a little bit. Cool. Let's hit it with the Dremel. Since it's such a small area, let's fold that over a little bit. We can totally dye this afterwards. Not a big deal. We'll do the same technique we did on the rest of the bag. Let's just do this outer edge. Boy. We'll let it dry nicely so that we don't get a lot of glue on our stitching iron when we punch it, and also on our needle and thread. All right. Oh, am I forgetting anything? Man. Just a little dye. Other than that, I think we're ready to put this back on. Let's even our thread out. Let's punch one time across the top. On both. All right, keeping this with no hardware except for the closures, strap closure. Stitch these down. Cool. All right, got the straps stitched down. We can measure our little closures. Cool. I'm going to spray these real quick. Oh, fold those down so they don't keep popping up. Don't want them too far down. Let them relax about there. These will be black. Alright, let's stitch these down, a couple of stitches each side. I will stitch these up here close to the buckle. This will not have to deal with it's not a weight bearing or load bearing. It's just a simple little keep it in place. So we'll just go a couple of stitches. Right. Alright, I put about 3 stitches in each side, just right by the buckle. And let's just throw a little glue on this bad boy. And then we'll throw some dye on it. The last few pieces. Just do that to mark it. See how far down we want to go. We'll let that set up for 7 minutes. And then we'll do the dye. Alright, let's throw a little dye on here while that glue sets up. Oh well, that was challenging. Or not. This dye swab dauber was still in the little daisy jar. Still had a little bit left in there. We'll see how tight that fits the knife. See if we need to put a retainer strap on there, retention strap. I think it's going to be nice and snug. Cool. Come on, glue. Right, let's do our little buckle placement. I'm going to fold it over about 2 inches. We'll go ahead and mark it for the 2 inches, and then we'll go for the center. Wow. Not bad, mate. Remember that first little piece can throw you off, so I'm going to go to the 1 inch marker. see if that's good. It holds it tight. Should have more room than that, so it can flex and turn. So we'll go one more. Now it moves a little more freely. I'll go ahead and just throw a couple stitches in there. So let's rough this edge up. Give that a few minutes to dry. Put some on this other side. And then let's tuck a little under here. Make this simple. I mean, it's just holding the belt tab down, right? There's no load bearing there. And wanted to glue this anyway. Cool. Alright, I'm going right here for my first hole. And then let's go every inch. Let's stay in the middle. Let's go ahead and measure it. Because I had some really ugly holes on my last bag. 1. Let's go to the end of it. 2 will be the top of the cut. 3, 4. Now let's go make sure we're centered on those. From the 1, pretty close. In fact, I'll go with that. Whoa, those are too close together. Dead center on that one. How I want a 1/2 of an inch on that one. 2. I'm way off screen. Nope. There. Alright, put the blade on the edge. Or let's go ahead and center it in the middle of the hole. And the last one. Now if we want to do a shoulder pad we can, but this is a nice wide strap so you get a nice distribution. Oh, I forgot the keeper. Let's do that real quick. Slide this around, tuck it up under there, halfway. Bring this on around. Slide it up under there. And just glue that down. What do you say? Alright, let's set this big fat keeper in place. Around the belt. Right? Is it dry enough? Slide it up under here. Oh, I should have sanded that. That's not going anywhere. Cool. All right, let's get ready for the demo. Oh, wait. I was going to say that's a wrap. We have to have a matching knife sheath, right? Straight piece of leather for a pocket in the back. Let's go all the way to the bottom. In the corner. Let's go all the way to the crease. On the side. Both sides. All the way down in there. We will want to get this all the way down in there before anything touches this bottom edge right here, and then we'll just press everything into place. Just keep it simple, keep it easy, all stitching and a little glue. All right, 7 minutes to slide this bad girl up in there. Oh wait, watch it. A little bit techy. I guess it's okay if it's going that way. Go to the top, go all the way in, all the way to the bottom. Push the bottom down first, hit the sides. That glue will set up any overage or anything unplanned will dry. It won't affect anything. There's a little pocket inside for whatever, right? Wallet, another knife. Oh, a couple of pins. All right, you get it. Or throwing daggers, right? Gloves. All right, there you have it, guys. The new Manbag, my EDC. For the magazines, and it's very masculine, hence the Manbag. It is okay to have a man something, right? I mean, is that not politically correct? If it is, let your imagination go wild with that answer. Yay! Look at that texture. Oh, it looks like elephant almost. And the distressed, I like it. Easy access. Man, you don't have to fight with a buckle. And it was all stitched. 1, 2, 3 pieces of hardware, the buckle. Right? So we've got about 20 bucks worth of leather in that, maybe. 30 cents worth of thread. Alright, you can do it. Was that a stitching punch, the razor, or a knife? You saw me cut it. You saw me cut it with a pocket knife, right? Cut the leather. Ah, a couple of sewing needles, leather sewing needles, some glue. I like the rough edges, and I like the 2 tones, natural leather, and of course that will age nicely. Very masculine, right? No hormone blockers in here. No rainbow flavored anything. Savvy? All right.